Hello, I'm Ralph. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, John Miller, for that wonderful introduction. Oh, no problem. Sorry, I didn't mean to move my mouth while you were talking. It's alright. It's okay, don't worry about it. Alright. Thank you. Yeah, I got a lot to talk about. I got a lot of stuff to talk about, and sometimes I feel like I can never get everything out, or not gonna ever do a good show. I try, I really do. I'm trying my best. I'm trying to do the best with what we have and get justice for everybody so everybody can enjoy the positive timeline. Okay, here's a poem. I'll start with the poem. It's called Return to Return Again. My son is born again each day, then the darkness comes to kill him. When will they finally create true change and end this prison system? Every baby that is born beholds the master key. When you look into a baby's eyes, you're looking into me. I long to grow up and live in peace in a world where there's no death. But how can I ever have that chance when I'm consumed at my first breath? Immediately enslaved by paper God until the day that I die. Then I watch myself return again as another baby cries. It's the human spirit, the source in a nutshell, God, whatever you want to call it. That's what it's saying. That's what it wants us. That's why it sends us here to help change this garbage of a system. It's still abusing people. The guys in national security using people as like a robot to store private information or compartmentalize their memories, so and have them act like a machine from the day they're born. These parents abuse the children because they know that they behold the master key of unlocking this horrible system, and they just do unspeakable things to them and break them, hoping that they're going to follow the footsteps of them and do the same thing to their kids. And very, very brave people like Kathy O'Brien and Jay Parker talk about what happened to them when they were kids, and it was awful. And Kathy O'Brien was like a prisoner most of her life, and her daughter was. It's foul. I mean, the stuff that they did was unspeakable. It's terrible. And I want these people to have justice, and that's why we do what we do. I know it might sound like we're repeating ourselves sometimes, but it's incredibly important. We need people like us to stand up and speak. Okay, here's a good poem. It's called 191. We are the 11th horn, and it is our turn to shine. We will defeat the wicked ones who have chosen number 9. There's my horn, the 11th horn. I wear that as my charm. Because that's us. That stands for us and the kingdom of heaven. Can't find my pen, damn it. Where the hell did it go? here it is. Okay, I'm going to finish the article I read last week. That I was going to get to some horrific things that the Bush family has done. Now, I don't know about Jeb, because he's not in the book. I don't know if he did this to other people, or did the same thing that his father and brother did. I have no idea, but, I'm sorry, but they tries to use that his father and brother committed. There should never be tolerated another Bush ever again. Or Hillary, because she's part of it too, and she was in that Transformation America that I read another from past episode, and we did a cartoon about it too. Tell people what page it was. I think it was 159. Well, maybe not. I don't remember what page it was. Okay. Let me read one more poem. This poem is called "Let Us Help the Soul Return." Through the eyes of a soldier, I cannot see a soul. All I can see is an empty black hole. He allowed his spirit to be sucked away. Will he wallow in sadness for the rest of his days? A young man with high hopes who fell for a bribe. He did as he was told, harming innocent lives. The sacred feminine just wants to fix him, while the blade of justice says to hell with him. Can he ever turn away from the soul-crushing liar? Can he ever turn away from the soul-crushing liar? Or will he continue to follow it into the fire? It is never too late to admit our mistakes. Don't fall for that old unforgivable snake. Take this golden opportunity to do the good you intended. Please assist us in getting all injustice suspended. We welcome you no matter what your past may reveal. We can't afford to judge each other. Let's make changes for real. Let us serve justice to the ones who harm children, to the ones who order harm toward innocent civilians. Justice shall be served to those who stayed hidden. With the Most High on our side, we can crush the whole system and banish them from the galaxy of life, because they have always chosen wrong over right. Justice is yours and justice is mine, and together as one, our love light will shine. It's very important. Oh, the remarks, MoreNorthTraffic.com, Mark said how the military people and the pigs in charge think it's funny because they're laughing out of their dogs. And you know what? If somebody fell for that, they shouldn't beat themselves up, because there's a lot of suicides out there because people know that they've been fighting wars from the bankers, and they feel awful from what they did. And we need you to help us defeat these pigs and get the word out and do whatever you can to blow the whistle on them. We all make mistakes, and sometimes they're very horrible mistakes. And I mean, I can't imagine what some people feel about it. But remember, it's not too late to turn your life around and tell them to go to hell and that you ain't gonna fight for them no more. Okay. Okay, we were talking about last episode about how there's the corporation in the United States, and how the Constitution was suspended without people's knowledge. And here's right here when we left off. The flag of Washington's District of Columbia has 3 red stars, each symbolizing a city-state within the three-city empire. The three-city empire consists of Washington, D.C., the D.C. stands for District of Columbia, City of London Corporation, and Vatican City State. City of London Corporation is the corporate center of three city-states and controls the world economically. Washington, D.C. is in charge of the military, and the Vatican controls it all under the guise of spiritual guidance. Although geographically separate, the city-states of City of London Corporation, the Vatican, and the District of Columbia are one interlocking empire called the Empire City of the City. The Constitution for the District of Columbia operates under tyrannical Vatican law, known as Lex Fori, local law. When Congress illegally passed the Act of 1871, it created a corporation known as the United States and a separate form of government for the District of Columbia. This treasonous act had unlawfully allowed the District of Columbia to operate as a corporation outside the original Constitution of the United States and is in total disregard of the best interests of the American citizens. POTUS is the Chief Executive President of a corporation of the United States, operating as CEO of the corporation. POTUS governs with a board of directors, cabinet officials, and managers. Senators and congressmen and women. Barack Obama, as others before him, is POTUS, operating as vassal king, taking once again orders from the crown through the RIAA, Royal Institute of Internal Affairs, the Illuminati, founded by the Society of Jesus or Jesuits, the largest Roman Catholic religious military order headed by the Black Pope, created the Royal Institute of International Affairs, RIAA, in 1919. The American equivalent to the RIAA is the Council of Foreign Relations, CFR. The RIAA and the CFR set up roundtable groups based on King Arthur myths. What did the Act of 1871 achieve? The Act of 1871 put the United States back under the Crown rule, which is Vatican rule. The United States people lost their independence in 1871. The Constitution of the United States of America is the Constitution of the Incorporated United States of America. It operates in an economic capacity that has been used to fool the people into thinking it governs a republic. It does not. Capitalization is not insignificant when one is referring to a legal document. This seeming minor alteration has had a major impact on every subsequent generation of Americans. What Congress did by passing the Act of 1871 was create an entirely new document, a constitution for the government of the District of Columbia, an incorporated government, instead of having absolute unalienable rights guarantees under the organic constitution. We the people now have relative rights or privileges. One example is the sovereign's, the people's right to travel, which has now been transformed under corporate government policy into a privilege that requires citizens to be licensed, driver's licenses and passports. By passing the Act of 1871, Congress committed treason against the people who were sovereign under the grants and decrees of the Declaration of Independence and the organic constitution. The Act of 1871 became the foundation for all of the treason since committed by government officials. As of 1851, the United States isn't a country, it's a corporation. In preparation for stealing America, the puppets of Roman Catholic popes' banking cabal had already created a second government, a shadow government designed to manage what the people believed was a democracy, but what really was incorporated United States. Together this chimera, this two-headed monster, disallowed the people all rights of juries, you and your sovereignty. The USA is a crown colony. The U.S. has always been and remains a crown Roman Catholic Pope colony. King James I is not just famous for translating the Bible into the King James Version, but for signing the first charter of Virginia in 1606, which granted America's British forefathers license to settle and colonize America. The charter granted future German Roman Catholic kings, queens of England would have sovereignty over all citizens and colonize land in America. After America was declared independence from the Crown, the Treaty of Paris, signed on September 3, 1783, was signed. That treaty identifies the German Roman Catholic King of England as Prince of U.S., Prince George III, by the grace of God, King of Great Britain, France, and Ireland, Defender of the Faith, Duke of Brunswick, Germany's Brunswick, and France, and Ireland, Defender of the Faith, Duke of Brunswick, Germany's Brunswick, and Lunenburg, Germany's Lunenburg, Arch-Treasurer, and President and Prince-Elector of the Holy Roman Empire, Roman Catholic Church, etc., and of the United States of America, completely contradicting premise that America won the War of Independence. Article 5 of that treaty gave all British estates, rights, and properties back to the Crown Catholic Church. It is agreed that Congress shall earnestly recommend it to the legislators of the respective states to provide for the restitution of all estates, rights, and properties which have been confiscated belonging to real British subjects, and also of the estates, rights, and properties of persons resident in districts in the possession of His Majesty's arms who have not borne arms against the United States. That persons of any other description shall have free liberty to go to any part or parts of any of the 13 United States and therein to remain 12 months unmolested in their endeavors to obtain the restitution of such their estates, rights, and properties, and may have been confiscated, and that Congress shall also earnestly recommend to the several states a reconsideration and revision of all acts or laws regarding the premises, so as to render the said laws or acts perfectly consistent not only with justice and equity, but with that spirit of reconciliation which on the return of the blessings of peace should universally prevail, and that Congress shall also earnestly recommend to the several estates that the estates, rights, and properties of such last mentioned persons shall be restored to them, their funding to any persons who may now be in possession of the bona fide price which has been given, which such persons may have paid on purchasing said lands, rights, or properties since the confiscation. And it is agreed that all persons who should have any interest in confiscated lands, either by debts, marriage settlements, or otherwise, shall meet with no unlawful impediment in the prosecution of their just rights. It is becoming increasingly apparent to American citizens that government is no longer being conducted in accordance with the U.S. Constitution or within states, according to the state constitutions. While people have recognized for more than 150 years that the rich and powerful often corrupt individual officials or exert undue influence to get legislation passed that favors their interests, most Americans still think the denied belief that such corruption is exceptional, and that most of the institutions of society, the courts, the press, and law enforcement agencies still largely comply with the Constitution and law in important matters. They expect that these corrupting forces are disunited and in competition with one another, so that they tend to balance one another. Mounting evidence makes it clear that the situation is far worse than most people think, that during the last several decades, the U.S. Constitution has been effectively overthrown, and that it is now observed only as a facade to deceive and placate the masses. What has replaced it is what many call the shadow government, created with the illegal passing of the Act of 1871. It is still, for the most part, operates in secret, because its control is not secure. The exposure of this regime and its operations must now become a primary duty of citizens who still believe in the rule of law and in the freedoms which this country is supposed to represent. And this is references from rocketpal.com. This article was featured on Exopolitics. So, yeah, that's what we got to be talking about and spreading. I had some poems going on with that. Sorry, I cannot find what I was going to read. Okay, I will have to read it next time because I'm running out of time. Okay, I can't find it. Oh, sorry about that. This went over time.